The year is 264 BC, and the first of 3 wars between the Western Mediterranean powers ignites. The Romans manage to reverse engineer a shipwrecked Carthaginian ship and use it as a blueprint for their nascent navy, allowing them to win the First Punic War. In the universe of post-Finem, however, Carthage is the one to win the first and the following Punic Wars, crushing the Roman Republic and altering the course of the Mediterranean as we know it. Welcome to another mod showcase in the lead-up to the release of Europa Universalis 5. Today we're taking another look at post-Finem, which since our last coverage has received numerous updates. Most recently, the countries in Eastern Europe have received new flavor and new missions, so on and so forth, which leads us to play as one of the main characters in the region, Slavin. Let's begin by setting the stage. Slavin was once the head of an empire, the Slavic Empire. Towards the empire's end, power began to shift towards the Slavic Conclave, a powerful council of high priests who eroded the king's legitimacy. During this struggle for power, the Donovan Empire, one which used to encompass generally this area, the Carpathian Basin and a little bit further, decided it would be a great time to invade. The invasion banded together the Slavic Empire for one last stand, but in the fighting, both empires were fractured. The Conclave stepped into the power vacuum, getting themselves more power, which leads us to our current situation. Immediately, we can see that the Conclave's corruption is hampering the country significantly, giving our clergy minus 10% loyalty equilibrium and 25% influence, while also reducing our Conclave piety, influence, and zealotry gain. We, of course, also get corruption each year. We'll start by attending to the estates. Of course, we will add privileges for each of the points, and we'll take some land back. That should probably do it. We're going to set some rivals. We actually do want to rival Lithuania, and then probably whoever's weakest. We also have a lot of decisions here. This seems fine. And I guess we have like a late version of the Black Death. I think we will not go with that this time. Looks like we really have one good option to start with. If we put a defensive edict here and develop it 3 times, we can get ourselves a subjugation CB and some permanent claims. So let's go ahead and start building this spy network. And I'll go and develop just like 1 point in each of these. Oh right, this mod doesn't have the edict for that. Make the ruler into a general. He does kind of suck though, to be honest. But anyway, we have enough points. We'll go 1, 2, 3 in here. And we need to put on the defensive edict. It seems this is actually the old imperial capital. So we'll get a subjugation CB on this guy here, get a half-cost military engineer, and we get some permanent claims. Then of course on the 12th of December, we will subjugate them. Easy instant stack wipe. Civil war in Lechia. Where is that exactly? Between Krakow and Borgrad. I think it would actually be really good for that guy to fall into a civil war and for me to not care. Okay, so we're going to subjugate, obviously, and we'll take full money. I'll keep your claims. Everything looks fine. So they don't like me very much, but that's okay. We have finished this mission here, giving us 10 years, but actually 20 years of 10% morale of armies and minus 5% shock damage received because Nadavi is our subject. We also get permaclaims on a couple of places. Next, we're going to do a little push into Lithuania, take like 2 provinces. That's 1 fort down. Do we want to fight that? Not really, but it's probably fine. Never mind, that was a really good idea. Okay, sure. We do now have the ability to unlock one of these, but the way you do that, it seems, is you have to do a divine blessing and pick one of these categories. I'm going to be taking a lot of land to start with, so I think I want the aggressive expansion one, and that is a veneration. Let's see, specifically it is Chernobog. Oh, also, feudalism. Really? Oh, what do you know? It's surprising because we have a whole mission over here that's like, oh, if you want to embrace feudalism, you need to like develop a little bit of it and then you get 75. But I guess we don't have to do that. And I don't actually know why. It didn't spread from anywhere. It just had to spawn there, I guess. So from Lithuania, we really only want 2 provinces, at least for now. Although I might take some money and maybe war reps. And then we'll come back and finish another mission that we have for Lithuania. So we'll core that and we'll core this. We can repay that one loan. Right, Lithuania is no longer a valid rival. We'll go with Saxony. Kind of waiting for you guys to fight each other. Well, you're fighting somebody else. You know what? That works. We'll summon the Diet and see some land back before going to war again. Speaking of which, we have enough government reform progress to embrace the feudal ways. Our ruler gets a reformist personality, although we are a little bit broke, so we're not going to worry about embracing the institution yet. There we go, capital taken, full annexation, 18 development, that's quite a lot actually. So the idea here is that we're supposed to core the 2 provinces we took from Lithuania, and then of course we get 1 mill point for our current leader, but also a subjugation CB on Lithuania and some permanent claims. So I thought I was just supposed to vassalize these guys, but somebody else decided to take a bunch of stuff. And now that I really think about it, we don't actually get anything special for vassalizing them. So I might just take this stuff. Anyway, the cores are done, and for us to revoke the conclave corruption, we're gonna have 2 stability. So I will at least bump it up by 1, but now that I think about it, we cannot easily complete this. Well, for our next reform here, the Spirit Divine Blessing, I think we'll go with manpower recovery speed seems fine. Oh, never mind, I didn't even notice. We actually have a unique government form, the Slavic Conclave, and that gives us our abilities. So that's what the Conclave Piety is. Now is probably a fine time to embrace feudalism. I'm going to take out a couple of loans and make that happen, which we'll take up afterwards. Now, before that war starts, we're going to sell titles and seize land back. Now, we do have Tech 4, everyone else pretty much has Tech 3, but I will call in my allies because I don't want to waste manpower if I don't have to. That's a quick little stack wipe there. And I think I will hire a general. Oh, that guy's a lot better. For this reform, we'll pick up Martial Society for even more manpower. So, Silesia, I can destabilize. Oh, that is aggressive. Okay, we're gonna take war reps and money. Break rivalries for a bit of prestige, I guess. So we won't be invading them for quite some time. Over here, similar, but basically just money and war reps, because we will be invading you somewhat soon. And then we'll just fully annex. Now, one of the main problems is that you get a lot of aggressive expansion here. This is not a free expansion, do whatever you want kind of country. You know what? Yeah, I guess I will take this. We get a stability for 50 conclave piety, and for 10 years, plus 1 tolerance of the true faith, and 15% cheaper advisors that have our religion. We can also pick up our 3rd divine blessing, this one from the cultural section. I actually do quite like the fate binders. Fate binders? Faith binders. Reduced yearly corruption is quite nice for us. It'll save us a lot of money. Ooh, okay. There goes the ruler. We have a new coral, a 433. Although, I think we actually end up electing somebody, and I think I know who I'm going to elect. It's interesting, actually. When we elect somebody, we change our primary culture. I don't think I've seen that before. It's actually a really unique mechanic, but I'm not sure how to feel about it. It's like, yeah, this would be great. Unfortunately, we have maybe 2 provinces of that culture. I'm still gonna take them, of course, a 653, are you kidding me? But we are going to feel the drawbacks of that, because we have no promoted culture slots. Another free stability? I'll take it. Now, what's up with these guys? You are allied to a lot of countries. You have a lot of troops. 13,000, also have 24,000. However, your subjects, they kind of hate you, and I like that. We don't want too much aggressive expansion, so this will be the last war against this group for now. We'll take a free stability. Just had to improve relations a little bit so that we don't get a massive coalition, but we should be good now. And it's especially useful because we get minus 20% province war score cost for the next 10 years, 100 admin, and a permanent claim on the Severoslavia region. But I'm going to wait to take that. For now, we are mostly interested in taking Lithuania. They kind of hate us, but it's okay. I'm just going to subjugate them. Now, our subject Lithuania here does have a couple of cores, and I think I'm going to ask my friend here if they can give one back. After we've reconquered the other stuff, of course. Also, I have 2 subjects now. Now we'll turn our attention to the west. I don't know much about the history between Slavin and Saxony, but apparently the city of Berlin was ours once, so we're just gonna take that back. Well, we're gonna take a lot more than that back. Bad idea for them to try and siege this fort. That'll be a stack wipe. Or maybe not. That'll be a stack wipe. And this will be a stack wipe, maybe. There we go. That'll be one. This will be one. That'll be one. We are just getting a whole lot of these. Although we have lost like only 8,000 fewer men. We're barely winning the naval battle. They do have a heavy, but we have galleys. That's what counts in here. We have 2 days to get innovativeness on this Diplo tech, but we don't have the Renaissance. So I actually will sell some titles. Then I'm also going to take out the loans. I need them for more than that. We're going to embrace the institution, and we're going to take this, and that of course. We do have some mod idea groups as well: Liberty, Assimilation, and Firepower. Liberty is kind of crazy. 2.5% admin efficiency is really good. Also reduced development cost, morale of armies. Assimilation, pretty decent. You get governing capacity. Aggressive expansion, goods produced. Firepower is a bunch of artillery stuff and siege ability. But I think I want to go with espionage ideas probably. No offensive ideas today, shocking. Oh, and we got faceting, nice. I can also pick up Tech 6, which would be great in the middle of this battle. Brutal stack wipe, we've pretty much won the war off that. Also, what's up with this? Oh yeah, the Italian Federation, basically the stand-in for the HRE, is kind of going through something right now. I would say I'll just join whoever I think is going to win, but I actually have no idea. Honestly, I don't care that much either. Okay, Alemannia, you guys can just leave, that's cool. Wildheim as well, that's fine. Seems we have also overshadowed Saxony, simply by having more owned and non-tributary subject development than they do. So we can click this button for 20 years of minus 10% aggressive expansion and minus 10% province war score cost. Now, I could wait and destroy them for 20 army tradition, but that's not a massive reward for how long I would have to wait. So we'll just take that. This would also be a great time to click this button for another minus 20% province war score cost. Can't forget to also grab this for another minus 10% AE for the next 10 years. Before we end this war, we can also reorganize our tribal structure now that we have the Renaissance. Doing that removes our penalty, the 25% additional province war score cost, and minus 25% admin efficiency. Pretty important because that also affects your aggressive expansion. So we're going to take all of this stuff. It's going to cause a bit of a stir, but it's not a huge deal. Of course, we will also take some land back. We will rival Rudensk. Because we have the Renaissance, we can also finish this off. We'll get 20% additional innovativeness gain and reform progress until our current ruler dies. We also get an event. It details one Nikolai Neborad, who proposes the heliocentric model, that being that the Earth orbits the Sun, not the other way around. This gives us 4.8 innovativeness, and we can hire him for 75% cheaper. For our Tier 3 reform, we can pick up 2% missionary strength, which is kind of insane. So of course we'll go ahead and do that. If we improve Berlin 3 times, we should be able to finish another mission. Changing its culture to Polachin, it'll also add a free temple, and we get permanent claims on all core provinces of Saxony. So I think I'm actually first just going to build a temple, and then we'll complete that. In the meantime, we're going to declare war on Ritvinia, only because it'll bring us to war with Rudensk. And of course we're doing that because we want to pry Rudensk away from their allies. And actually, it would be really nice if we could get these Lithuanian separatists to succeed, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, of course not. So, Rudensk, we're just going to break a couple of your alliances. I think this one's fine for them to keep, but we don't want a particularly long truce. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to pick up more aggressive expansion impact reduction. Right now, we're currently sitting on minus 70% almost. I will actually go ahead and just take all of this stuff, and I'm going to core this and probably this, but I'm going to hand the rest to Lithuania. Actually, I will keep Riga for myself. Now, Lithuania actually does connect up here, so we should be able to ask for a core back, and then we'll come back to reconquer the rest. Temple in Berlin is done, so we'll just do this. We also have Ruyana, which will give us an event. We have a grand temple in here, which we can restore. It'll give us 25 prestige, which will become 24 of each monarch point. It also upgrades the monument by 1, and for the rest of this ruler's life, we get +3 tolerance of the true faith. It gets a couple of decent modifiers, including a free fort. And then eventually, as we upgrade it, it'll give us monthly enclave influence, piety, and zealotry. We have to do things in a bit of a weird way here. First, we're going to declare war on Lechia, or Opole. And then it gets weirder because actually we have to declare war on Silesia as well. And then it gets even weirder again because we have to declare war on Ravna, which will call in my own ally who for some reason decided to guarantee them. Very cool. Thank you, Moria. So for the first war, we're going to peace out by just taking these 3 provinces. We're not even going to take money, we just want a super short truce. We'll kick these guys out of the war, and we will annex you, and Moria can leave for a handful of ducats, I guess. New idea group, we will go with offensive now. Then we can fully annex these guys. And the reason we did all of that was to seize Silesia, and that's going to give the entire area 1 base production, which will increase the coring cost, but for 20 years, the region gets minus 25% local core creation cost. So all of that was just for cheaper cores. And we lose a stability, of course, but fortunately we have the free stability button. Real quick, I'm going to take out a couple more loans. And I'm just going to build a whole bunch of these dirt roads, as many as I can. All of our provinces now have roads, and so when we complete this mission, every province which meets the requirement for this mission, that being all of them, will gain 1 base production. We also get a half-cost level 2 logistician, which I think is a Diplo guy. The truce with Rudensk is over. We'll go for reconquest of the Lithuanian cores. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and take this stuff here. We unfortunately cannot fully annex them, but I can return all of the cores and take the provinces that I need. I'll take some money for good luck. Although I do need to hand out some land rights. We'll give some to the Volks. We have now subjugated Lithuania after all this time. The 2 areas that make up Lithuania, I assume, get minus 0.1 monthly autonomy change and minus 5 years of separatism. We also get some permaclaims. We do also need to settle Pruthania, and to do that, we're just going to put down a little bit of development. The culture of these 3 provinces becomes Podravin, and 2 of them also gain 2 manpower. Our truce is now up with Orzavia, and we do need 1 of their provinces. Lestia will just take 2 provinces, and honestly, that's fine. Just want to get them to below 100% war score, and that is that. We now own all of the provinces in the Severoslavia region, which will give our ruler 2 admin, but actually we'll just get 200 admin points. We get 10 base manpower in random provinces across Severoslavia, and we remove the admin tech requirement to form Severoslavia. Of course, we'll go ahead and do that. Normally you would take admin tech 10, but now with admin tech 7, we're still able to form it. We become a monarchy, we get new traditions and ambitions, we also get new missions, allegedly. Somehow not the map color I expected. I kind of thought it would be red for some reason. Anyway, we have our new ideas, which are quite good. 15% morale of armies, 20% infantry combat ability, 10% goods produced, plus 1 yearly prestige, 10% trade efficiency, 15% cheaper construction, 2 tolerance of the true faith, 25% reduced culture conversion cost, and 10% cheaper advisors with ruler's culture, 10% land fire damage, plus 1 attrition for enemies, 25% monthly reform progress, and 10% production efficiency. On top of that, we do get a couple new missions down here at the bottom. We can also decide our government. We'll go with autocracy. Then we'll get some more tax. Empowered industrial estates is unique to the mod. Gives us an industrialist's estate, and I love having more estates, so we'll take that. It also removes our corrupt conclave. I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to get rid of it, but it works out anyway. If I go ahead and get the estate agenda for the Volks, then it'll automatically complete it. We also get 20 years of minus 15% cost of advisors with ruler's religion, and plus 10 Volks loyalty equilibrium. We've also dominated the Amber Road by developing a few provinces over here. So finishing this off will give us 3 mills and a decision to expand the road networks. We also get 10 years of 10% reduced construction cost and time. I think this just allows us to upgrade our roads a little bit ahead of time. So if we upgrade this to the next level, and then of course the next one is actually locked, we should still be able to actually get the next level at least 5 times. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll take that. That's cool. Yeah, she's good. That works. So what's up here with the industrialists? We can get 10% goods produced, minus 20% construction cost. Oh man, this is crazy stuff. So if we appropriate the Zavodny funds, apparently we can just build manufactories. So that's cool. They do get a lot of influence. That's a lot. The 5 owned provinces with manufactories will have the option to receive investments. What does that do? Oh, that's crazy. We get 9 development in a province and 30 years of +1 local goods produced and +10 local trade power. If we put that in the capital, which does have faceting, then first of all, we complete another mission, the University of Vedrak. We get an event, and the city expansion privilege no longer increases influence and no longer decreases max absolutism. Of course, we also get a university in Vedrak and minus 10% idea cost. We're gonna go back to war with Saxony for a few things. I think we'll also co-belligerent Lusatia. And then of course we can call in our friend here. Lusatia, we'll just fully annex. And Saxony, we need to take this stuff. But before I do that, I will take some money from you. And then, of course, we can only really take this stuff and we'll come back for the rest. I did slacken to get enough manpower to finish off this mission all the way up here. We'll get 10% manpower in True Faith provinces and 5% morale damage for the rest of the game. It also allows us to finish the Slavicization question. Now that we are also not a tribe, we get an event. And we get to pick between the Slavic Theocracy or the Slavic Commonwealth branching missions. I saved the game, so we'll take a look at both, starting with the Theocracy path. If we hire an Inquisitor and increase the loyalty of our clergy, we can become a Theocracy, and then form the Second Slavic Empire to get a permanent reduction in war score costs versus other religions. It's also easier to culture convert things for 20 years, and we can get an estate privilege. As for the Commonwealth path, we can integrate the Germans for some tech cost and idea cost reduction temporarily, plus some stuff in the capital. We can get a permanent +3 max promoted cultures and +1 monarch admin skill. Another event here, not sure what it does. And then every existing Baltic culture which we own at least one province of will become an accepted culture and will not require a promoted culture slot. We also get +3 tolerance of heretics for the rest of the game. I think I like the Theocracy path better, and so if I were to continue playing this game, that's the one we would go down, but I think that's where we're going to call it for today. I haven't yet shown you everything this tree has to offer, and in addition to that, we have another formable which apparently gives us even more missions. So there's still a lot for you to explore in this latest update. But let me know if you want to see me play some more Severoslavia or more post-Finem in general, or if you have any other mods you want me to check out, then let me know in the comments. But if you liked today's video, leaving a like would be super appreciated, and if it's your first time here or you just aren't subscribed, then now would be a great time to do that. For now though, this is Corbett signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day. As always, a big thank you to the patrons for this month. All these people get early access to videos, so I'd like to give a special thank you to those who decide to donate more. So thank you, Erica, Baby Cal, Born to Dunk, Gallo4, Lukebecker, Mikhail Sample, Nick Steffel, Princess Rhea, Q-Brute, Spyro, Tillman Augustin, AG Forero, Ben Mottram, Quiet Guy, Rosset, Torvald, Ambient Cyan, Elysia Tutz, James Levy, Luke78776, Stalin DLRP, and Robert.